The Pope's historical visit to the U.S. isn't over yet. Today, he's celebrating Mass in Philadelphia. Well, while here, his speeches have touched on a wide range of topics, including religious freedom and immigration. Don Champion reports.
It was a star-studded affair at the World Meeting of Families Festival in Philadelphia Saturday night. Mark Wahlberg hosted the event that included comedian Jim Gaffigan and the singing of Aretha Franklin. But the biggest star of all was Pope Francis. Francis ditched most of his prepared remarks and spoke passionately about the need for families in today's society.
God give me the strength to move forward. Let us look after the family. Let's protect the family, because it's in the families that our future is at play.
But the Pope did acknowledge he doesn't have a family of his own to have to deal with, and he shied away from some of the more sensitive topics.
I won't speak about mother-in-laws.
Earlier in the day, Pope Francis went to Independence Hall, where the colonials declared independence from Britain and said the freedom declared in 1776 still attracts people to America this day. Pope Francis will wrap up his trip to America and the World Meeting of Families with a huge open-air mass today. About 1 million people are expected to attend. Don Champion, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And as the Pope delivers Mass in Philadelphia today, New Mexico will be represented. Former Albuquerque Mayor Marty Chavez saw the Pope in D.C. earlier this week and will be in Philly today.
It's a very special time, and I think it's going to be one that has a lasting impact on the country.
Chavez isn't the only New Mexican who will be there. A group of nearly 300 from St. Therese Parish and other churches took a cross-country road trip to see the Mass. They're expected to return on Monday. And before Mass this afternoon, Pope Francis will meet with some 100 inmates at a correctional facility on the outskirts of Philadelphia. Father Matthew Pulowski wrote a letter to the Vatican asking for the Pope to bless these prisoners. While not all of the prisoners are Catholic, they say faith is a part of their lives.
Just not giving up under the circumstances that I'm in jail. Just keeping faith and keeping hope alive.
Well, this will be the first time a pope has ever visited a jail in the U.S. It opened in 1995 and houses inmates awaiting trial and those who are serving sentences of fewer than 3 years. The Pope stopped his motorcade yesterday to kiss and bless a boy in a wheelchair, bringing his mother to tears.
The fact that the Pope kissed him on the head and blessed him is something that I would have never imagined possible for any of my children, and so I feel very fortunate and blessed that that happened.
10-year-old Michael Keating has cerebral palsy and is unable to move or speak. He was waiting at the tarmac at the airport as the Pope arrived in Philadelphia. The Pope was already en route when he asked his driver to stop. The boy's mother says she's absolutely floored by what happened. Well, 3 Boy Scouts and their pilot are shaken up this morning after the small plane carrying them crashed in Belen. Yesterday, the boys were taking a short flight on a 1952 4-seat plane as part of their efforts to earn an aviation badge. The plane took off from Belen Airport, flew to the Sunport, then turned back for Belen. About 2 miles out from landing, the plane lost power and crashed next to a dirt road. No one was injured, but the kids say they feared for their lives.
What's going to happen? Are we going to crash? And then when we hit the ground, I just held onto the seat until we stopped spinning.
Despite the ordeal, the kids still haven't earned that aviation badge. They still have to complete some other tasks first. Valencia County Sheriff's deputies are investigating the cause of the crash. An Albuquerque man with a long history of drunk driving is in trouble again. APD says 36-year-old Antonio Gonzalez was stopped after an officer saw him driving more than 100 miles an hour. They say Gonzalez admitted to drinking. Officers say he failed a sobriety test and checked his criminal history. They found Gonzalez has 6 prior DWI convictions. The FBI is looking for a woman who tried to rob an Albuquerque bank. It happened at the Wells Fargo inside the Smiths at Carlisle and Constitution Saturday afternoon. The feds say the woman gave a teller a note and demanded money. They say she left without getting any, though. The suspect is described as a black woman in her early 20s, approximately 5'6" with a thin build. Police in Houston are investigating a drive-by shooting that took the life of a 6-year-old boy. Police say the suspects fired about 14 shots into a family home while the people inside were sleeping. Surveillance cameras captured an extended cab Chevy pickup truck and a gold or beige sedan, possibly a Honda Accord, with someone inside firing off bullets. The bullets hit 6-year-old Moses as he slept in bed.
Why my baby? Why my baby? He didn't deserve it. It was just a baby.
The victim's older brother, 11-year-old Manuel, was also shot. He was hit twice in the chest. He's now recovering at a hospital. The shooter is still on the loose. 1 in 10 pregnant women in the U.S. reports drinking alcohol, according to the latest government statistics. 3% of those women report binge drinking. That's 4 or more drinks on one occasion. Drinking alcohol during pregnancy can cause birth defects and developmental disabilities in babies. It also increases the risk of miscarriage and premature births. Hyundai is recalling almost 500,000 cars whose engines can stall and cause a crash. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the recall could affect almost every 2011 and 2012 Hyundai Sonata. Officials say some metal debris may have ended up in the car's crankshafts, which can cause engines to fail. The TSA says only about 2% of recalled cars actually have the defect, and there are no reports that the problem caused any crashes or injuries. Well, 2 days after House Speaker John Boehner decided to call it quits, there's a lot of people looking to replace him. The early frontrunner to be the next speaker is Kevin McCarthy, the current House Majority Leader. The California congressman has risen quickly through the ranks since his 2006 election. There are a number of other possible candidates. When the House actually begins voting, anyone can be nominated. The winner will need 218 votes. The party will have to decide by October 30th, Boehner's resignation. A team of crooks is hitting Nob Hill workers where it hurts the most by stealing tip jars from front counters. News 13's Mo Hyder shows you the tactic they use to get in and out fast.
Workers at Squeeze Juice Bar, Nob Hill, were about to close up shop Friday when all of a sudden
they were in and out in less than 10 seconds, grabbed the whole tip jar, all of our employees' tips.
This surveillance video shows 3 people casually walking into Squeezed. As one of them distracts the cashier, you can see a young woman take off with a tip jar.
They walked right in, grabbed it, and were out. It was obviously a team of 3. They had planned it out, and it makes me mad. I think it makes my employees even more mad.
Theft isn't something the Squeeze staff is used to.
We've never had anyone steal anything outright from this store.
But next door at the Chocolate Dude, it's a different story.
Actually, this has happened to me personally before, and same thing happened, like very fast. Didn't even see it happen.
Alexandria Torres was prepping in the kitchen alone when she heard that same group come inside.
I went to the register and I looked at the tip jar and there was just like $2 left.
She says the whole thing is disappointing and eye-opening.
It scares me, especially being like, I can't even I have to keep my guard up when a coworker leaves just for 1 second to take the trash out.
The owner of Squeeze says less than $50 worth of tips were stolen. For the Chocolate Dude, Alexandria says about $20 were stolen. It may seem like pocket change to some, but for these workers, it's a blow.
A few extra bucks definitely puts gas in the tank or helps pay tuition and so forth.
Mo Hyder, KRQE News 13.
The juice bar says they did not file a police report because of the small amount of money stolen. It's unclear if the Chocolate Dude did. The store owner says he thinks the trio was all between 18 and 25 years old. State police are investigating a deadly police shooting in southeastern New Mexico. They say it all happened around 2 yesterday afternoon in Lovington, which is just north of Hobbs. Lovington police were called to a house after shots were fired there. State police say while Lovington police were investigating the incident, officers opened fire. A male was struck. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. It's unclear what caused the officers to shoot or how many of them fired. APD is on the lookout for two men who stole $500 worth of tools from a True Value store in the Heights. After taking a look at surveillance video, police say these crooks aren't new to the crime game. This happened Monday at the True Value near Eubank in Osuna. As you can see, both men casually walk up and down the aisles as if they're average customers before stealing drills and other tools.
The way that they park the vehicle in the parking lot, they back their car up into the parking lot. Easy getaway. So these guys are probably professional crooks who steal lots of property, sell it on the street for pennies on the dollar.
APD is asking for the public's help in identifying these two. Right now, the only big clue they have is the getaway car, which is a white Suburban. State police are searching for a teen who they say may be in danger. 13-year-old Devon Anthony Aragon was last seen at the Carlos F. Vigil Middle School in Espanola on Friday. Aragon was wearing blue khaki pants, a blue polo shirt, white Jordan tennis shoes, and a blue Oklahoma Thunder hooded sweatshirt. If you know where he is, call New Mexico State Police. A southern New Mexico ranch for troubled youth is suing a state police officer for his investigation of abuse allegations. Scott and Colette Chandler, who operate the Tierra Blanca Ranch Youth Program, filed a complaint in federal court last week against Officer Felipe Gonzalez. According to the suit, authorities and state child welfare workers used a ranch employee's accidental death as a way to launch an investigation on behalf of a disgruntled parent. The couple says state officials entered the ranch without a search warrant and interviewed youth residents without permission. A Carlsbad man walked away from McDonald's without an order. Instead, he got a warning from police. According to the Carlsbad Current-Argus, officers were called out to the McDonald's this week when a man started screaming at employees and being destructive because they left pickles on his burger. And when police arrived, he was given a warning. They aren't releasing his name because he was not arrested. A man in Michigan frightened by a spider created a dangerous situation at a gas station. Witnesses say the man was pumping gas when a spider appeared in his fuel tank. He then pulled out his lighter and tried to burn it. The gas pump then went up in flames.
He didn't have a cigarette. He didn't have anything on him. So all of a sudden I looked out and I seen flames.
I don't like spiders, huh? You know what they say about spiders. Let me get my lighter here and burn that spider off. Okay. Oh, geez, that's hot. Oh, boy.
The man grabbed a nearby extinguisher and put out the flames before firefighters arrived. The Secretary of Education is warning teachers, students, and parents to expect lower scores following the controversial PARCC test. Now, the results will be released on October 3rd. According to Hannah Scandera, other states that have implemented the test have seen drops in scores of up to 40% the first year of the test. The PARCC test is based on Common Core standards, a new type of learning that many parents don't like. They argue it's too complicated and dumbs down some students. The state has not wavered in its implementation of the test despite protests and refusals by students to take it. And the federal government is handing out nearly $500,000 to 5 New Mexico schools. They focus on preparing Native American students for college. The schools receiving money are in areas with a prominent number of Native American students, including Gallup and Shiprock. Well, fun for the whole family at the Albuquerque International Festival. Yesterday was the 7th annual event celebrated by the International District of Southeast Albuquerque. Food and entertainment represented all parts of the world. Organizers say the event continues to grow every year because it brings a kind of diversity other festivals are unable to offer. Well, a bowling